Hey everyone, happy Monday. I'm actually excited to have Mondays now. We should all be excited, right? We own our own businesses. We can do whatever we want every Monday, which is amazing. Even if you're not, still, today's like another day where you could just do what you want. If you work part-time, then hey, like you could do whatever you want in your business today, right? Cool. All right, guys. Well, welcome to Monday. I'm really excited to share this live with you. One, because you guys always know that I'm going through my own personal journey of working on my money story and my fitness story. And this was one story I was attached to that I had uncovered probably it was the second year before I had a big year in my floral design business, which you guys, most of you know that I sold in that second year. So when I uncovered this story that I was attaching myself to about more money, it led me to like that second year explosion that I had. The first year my floral design business was a mess. The second year was awesome, and it was because I did things like worked with a coach and uncovered my money story. But I was excited about this because I was talking with a friend of the family. We were all hanging out. There's two couples of us, my husband and her boyfriend. And she was talking about her story that she had been attached to, that had allowed her to play small in her life and play small in going after the things she wants. And it was funny, this topic came up because we were asking her to join us in doing a 5K. And she's not much of a runner. She never runs. And she was just like, you know what? I just don't think doing a 5K is for me. And, she was just really scared of doing it. She didn't want to do it. So a lot of these emotions, although we're talking about exercise, it's kind of the same thing of like what we say, like our emotions around money. I'm scared of it. I'm scared of committing to big things, right? Like it's kind of similar. And when she went on to then explain what her story was that she had been holding on to, right? Okay, so here's her story that she had been telling herself. Her story was that she was a weird kid. This is a really funny story actually, because the way she talks about herself and the way she held on to the story was, to me, so like unlike her. Like, I don't know that version of her that she's telling me about, that she thinks she is, all right? So she was telling us that she's always been like, she was like a weird kid. She was an only child. She didn't have great social skills. So she was always like, I'm just like kind of weird. And, I'm like, I just can't like do these amazing things that other people do. Like, Shannon, I can't start a business like you because you're just born with some magical thing and that's just like you and that's what you do. I don't do that. I'm like a weirdo and I'm shy and I'm introverted and people don't understand me. And it was so weird to hear her say this, because as it's coming out of her mouth, I'm like, that's her story that she's been telling herself, that has allowed her to play small, to not run 5Ks, to not commit to starting a business, to not go after her big dreams or goals, whatever they may be, right? And so here she is telling herself that this is her story. And I said to her, why are you believing that? Like, why are you holding on to that? By holding on to that story, you are just keeping yourself from going after your goals and your dreams, right? And I was like, there's no, like, this story serves no purpose for you, no better good, but to let you play small and feel comfortable, to not go after crazy things like running a 5K when you never run one before, or starting a business, or really going after that big money goal that some of you guys have in your business, right? And right then and there was like how much our stories, even somebody who's not, and she doesn't have a business, right? But even somebody like her can not go after her dreams and her goals because she's letting her story let her play small, right? Okay, so when we had the discussion, it was pretty cool because we kind of uncovered, and she had decided that this was a story she was telling herself that she needed to let go by the end of the conversation, which was fucking awesome because that's a huge breakthrough, all right? So now I want to talk to you guys about uncovering your story, okay? So here's where I uncovered my first big money story that I was holding on to. All right. And how you guys can uncover it too. So it was my first year going full time in my floral design business. And I was just really fucking scared. I just remember that entire summer. So I went full time in May. I quit my 9 to 5. And I went full time, and I had a really good season lined up, like a really good wedding season. It actually wasn't majority of my own weddings. I was spending a lot of my time freelancing with like a designer down here who does 4 to 5 weddings and big weddings a weekend, like awesome weddings. So she was really good to learn from. And then I had a couple of my own weddings. So what happened was I was on the phone with my friend, and I said to her, and I felt like I had been hustling. I was freelancing, going after my own weddings. I still had my Etsy shop open. And in my Etsy shop, I sold artificial and dried flowers and stuff like that. And I felt like I was hustling. And I'm on the phone with one of my girlfriends, and we're talking. And I was like, you know what? I was like, her name's Shannon. We both are named Shannon. We're like best friends. It's really funny. Anyway, so I said, you know what, Shan? I feel like I was born poor and I'll always be poor. So that to me, when those words came out of my mouth, I was like, oh shit, Shannon, like that's what you really think about yourself. Because I can tell you guys, I know exactly the thoughts I was having when those words came out of my mouth. For that whole summer, I went full time. I had all these things of like, well, my life was harder. And now I have student loan debt. And, I won't be able to get ahead because, I didn't have the jumping off point that some people do. Or I don't have a safety net like other people do. Like they have parents that will help them or things like that. And I don't have that. And I was just go on and on and on about how me being brought up with like not a lot of money and having to fend for myself, which has now left me, with like student loan debt, was the reason why I could never succeed. Because, I had like a crappy, like I didn't have a lot of money growing up. So that will lead me to not having a good future with money or like a lot of money in the future. So when I said those words, that was my story. I was born poor. I'll always be poor. That was my story that I was saying. And it was such a dumb story. But I had realized up until that point, every single thought I was having was just feeding into that story. So I would tell myself, well, it's harder for me because I had to pay for my college education, or it's harder for me because, I don't have the backing like other people have with family or friends being able to help them. Like, or it's harder for me because I have this or this. So that story was allowing me to play like a little bitch. So when those words came out of my mouth, I stopped right there and I was on the phone with my friend and I said, oh, I didn't know I thought that. And right there, that story was the story I needed to break down first. That was my biggest story I needed to uncover. Now, when I uncovered that, okay, hey, Christine. So when I uncovered that story, what I found was that my next year going into my floral design business, which most of you guys know, my second year was huge. It was awesome. But it was because I had detached myself from my story and said, this is not my story. This is not the way my life will play out. Because here I was saying this. Now, here's the funny thing, guys. Here I was saying this story to myself on the phone with my friend, right? Telling her I was born poor, I'll always be poor. Now, I am sitting in the guest bedroom of a second house that is like 2 miles from the ocean. I'm like 2 blocks from the bay. Like, who the fuck? Is this poor? No. So it wasn't even rational. It wasn't even logical because I was sitting in the fucking guest bedroom of a house that's on the ocean. A second home. And still, even if it's one home, shit, right? Like, wow, that's awesome. And here I was thinking I was born poor, I'll always be poor. Like, how fucking dumb was that? Really, right? Like, that was fucking dumb. Like, honestly, right? So, how can you guys uncover the story that you're telling yourself? All right. So what I want you guys to do to uncover your own story that you are telling yourself, to keep yourself playing small, to keep yourself like, what I will say is that the number one thing you have to look out for in order to uncover your money story is to hear what excuses you keep repeating to yourself. Whenever you say, I would love, however you answer this question is exactly the excuse, and the excuses are probably tied into the shitty money story. So answer this question, answer the statement. I would love to make a lot of money, but, and whatever follows after that but, I would love to make a lot of money, but this, and this. That is the excuse that you are playing with yourself. And then once you kind of dig a little deeper into that, once you kind of go a little deeper with those excuses, you will find the bullshit that you have been telling yourself that has kept you from taking massive action, that has kept you from investing in a coach, that has kept you from investing in yourself, that has kept you from actually believing you can make your dream and your business, whatever that dream is for you, come true, right? So if I go back to Shannon, and Shannon that was attached to her story, I would love to make a lot of money, but I was born poor. And that's what I would like attach myself to. And it's just entirely bullshit. Your excuses are they're not welcome here. They are not welcome anymore, right? And we cannot keep ourselves attached to our money story. So let's go back to the example I gave at the beginning of the video. My friend that didn't want to do the 5K, that had all these reasons why she can't commit to doing big things or going after big dreams or big goals, right? So her thing would be, oh, I can't make my dreams come true because I'm like a weirdo that nobody understands. And that was kind of her story. And it's the thing we hold on to, and it's the thing that keeps us from making a lot of money. It's the thing we hold on to that keeps us from doing the steps we need to take in order to get further in our lives. All right, so I'm going to write it down in the comments. I would love to make a lot of money, but, and whatever comes up in that, whatever comes after your but, is exactly the shit you are holding on to keep you feeding into your money story. Now, sometimes you will even go as far as to prove your money story right, because I have done that, totally have done that. I would go as far as like saying, I was born poor, I'll always be poor. That was my money story. And then I would go with like, I would find the reasons to back that up. I would find all of the reasons to back it up. I would think, let's say I was born poor, I'll always be poor. Oh, duh. Yeah, of course. I would then take actions that would keep me broke. Yeah. I would take a lot of things I would do actions that would just keep me broke. I one, wouldn't track my money. Two, I just spend it frivolous because I was feeding into the story. I was born poor, I'll always be poor. So I just spent my money because I'm always going to be poor. So what's the point, right? I never have enough money, so I might as well just spend it, right? And that fed me into like a big cycle. And of course, there's more things that go with that, which I'm sure if any of you guys can relate to, well, I just spend any of the money that's in my bank account till it's gone. After I pay my bills, after I pay my things, whatever's left over, just spend it till the next paycheck. Then you guys will totally understand that story. All right. So then you will take the actions you need to feed into that money story, which is so shitty and so dumb, and it doesn't even make any sense, but we love it because it keeps us playing small, and it keeps us playing like little, and it keeps us from stopping and going after and doing the things we need to do, right? All right, guys, so all this week, I think, did I run the? Yeah, I ran the post in the group already. So all this week, I'm going to be giving you quotes, exercises, things from this book that I am rereading again. I read it last year and now I'm rereading again. And now that I'm rereading it again from like this different perspective I have in my mind, it's just totally different. It's just like, I just see it. I see everything much more clear now. So it's called Overcoming Under Earning by Barbara Stanny. And she has a whole bunch of ways, which you will probably see that look really familiar to some of the things I have been doing here. Because she, just like me, believes that it's inside work first and then it's outside work. So inside work is working on our self-esteem, our beliefs, our money story, our fears, all of that stuff first, knowing I can achieve my goals, reprogramming my mind to not sabotage myself. And then the outside work is then taking the aligned massive action that gets me to the goals that I want. All right? So Overcoming Under Earning by Barbara Stanny. I think I have a post I have a link to her book in the post that I just did earlier this morning, so you can go to the group and find it. It's fucking awesome though. All right, guys, it's been awesome chatting with you. I hope you uncover your money story, let go of it, get rid of it. It's not serving you anymore. You are worth so much more. All right? Okay. Bye, guys.